Hello, wonderful community on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube. I am super happy, excited, delightful that I have another wonderful human being and guest with me here today, Dr. Serena, who is a multicultural scientific illustrator, a life scientist, and a nature lover. This human being fascinated me deeply over the last weeks because the transformation that she went through, the strength, the power, the vulnerability, almost like from another planet. But I'll stop talking here. I throw the ball over onto your side. Serena, thank you so much for being here today. And let's start with who are you and what is it that you actually do?
Thank you, Natalia, for asking me. Well, as you said, I'm a scientific illustrator, but before that, I'm a biologist, so I've been a scientist for several years. And then I decided that I wanted to turn my career into something more creative, but still keeping in the scientific field. So this is when I turned into scientific illustrator. So now I'm a freelancer.
Exciting. And why did you initially contact us? What was the, let's say, challenge or the development that you had in mind for yourself?
Well, a couple of years ago, I realized that I was feeling not fully satisfied with myself, with my career. I was feeling confused and frustrated, and I just didn't know what to do, why it was for where I was living, what I was doing. I really didn't know. But then a turning point, it was when I realized that the cause of this emotional state, it was not coming from the outside, but it was coming within me. So then I realized that I am the only responsible of my emotions, and that I got to do something about it. I cannot just stay like that, complaining and say, "Oh, it's because of this and because of that."
Yeah.
So then this is when I started my personal growth journey. And then I had my first coaching program with Amani Said. She was a great coach.
Yes.
And this coaching program was more career oriented. But it's when, for the first time, I start to think about limiting beliefs, values, and what I'm passionate about, what I like, what I do not like. So
Mhm,
it was like a whole new world for me.
mhm,
And after that, I did another course, another classes where I went deeper into the knowledge of my limiting belief
mhm,
and how to reprogram my behavior or a certain way of thinking that
mhm,
do not serve me anymore. So
mhm,
I really practice all these things that I've learned. But then I reached a point in which I felt stuck. I realized that with the tool that I've learned so far, I couldn't move forward anymore. And I was emotionally speaking, I felt there was still something stuck within me that I just couldn't release. And it's at that
mhm.
time that I contacted you as I felt that you could have helped me.
Absolutely. And if I remember well, you told me that you just finished reading a book from Dr. Bruce Lipton, and I was also in the stage or
Yes,
in the phase of just
yes,
finalizing it. And the tool that you've mentioned, I was like, oh, I was thinking of learning that as well. So it, for me,
yes,
it was such a beautiful coincidence in quotation mark
yes.
because we have never met before. Our paths had never crossed before, and we were interested in the same aspect. So I was very, very grateful when you approached me or approached us, and then when we, let's say, dug a little bit deeper. So, what did we then do? Like, how can you explain to another person what it actually is that we then worked on or that we integrated or changed or flipped or however you want to put that into words?
Well, I think it's when I read one of your posts, and then I said, well, exactly what I need. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And
Mm,
then I do not hesitate and I just contacted you.
mhm,
And then together, I mean, you just asked me what was my situation. That it was kind of difficult for me to explain because I didn't know what.
mm,
But somehow you managed to figure out what it was. And then in this way you said, okay, maybe this the power session, it will be great for you, but I somehow didn't know, I have no clue what this was about. I said, okay, I trust you, Natalia, and just let's go for it. And then
Mm-hmm.
we went through our power session.
Mm-hmm. And how did you feel after the power session? Do you, like when you compare yourself before the power session, you entered in with a lot of trust and with a lot of openness. Thank you once again for that. Who's the Serena that came out after that? Or what happened? How did you feel?
I think it was like, I mean, when you start, like when you do this personal growth learning, it's like every time you open a new door. So you open a door and then you go inside and you start to explore these new things. But then you reach a point that, okay, now I need something else. And then as we do, you just, during the power session, a new door was open for me. And then I said, wow, there's so many things that I can do. Just, it was really empowering because, I mean, in this session, we work on something that at that time for me was, was stuck within me. So you helped me to go through this. But at the same time, I realized how many things I can do, and so it was really another time, a whole new world that opened up for me.
Mm, beautiful. And because I am how I am, I do believe in the word healing is so loaded. That's why I don't use it in this context. I rather say alignment. I call, or I say, we talk about integration, or we talk about clarity or more focus. And I do believe in the power of that. And on top of that, if we can also then implement certain things over the next 30 days, if we have something like homework or what I call home play, to actively work on learning new skills or strengthening a new habit or having a specific ritual to go once again deeper, or maybe try a new tool to express ourselves or to get our thoughts and emotions from here or here onto paper. I fully believe in the power of that. I know about the power of that because I have done it so many times. So that's why I usually also gift my clients with it. The home play that I gifted you with, was it fun? Was it difficult? Was there something completely new that you did and thought, gosh, I should have done that so much earlier? Tell us a little bit about what happened between the power session and then when we had our follow-up call after approximately 30 days.
Yeah. Well, during the power session, we discussed, so, okay, what can you do to improve, to reach a certain goal? So we decided together what can be done. It was like reading a book, drawing something, or make practice what I've learned during the power session. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say that the home play was something that came natural for me.
Mm,
And as you said, has to come natural, because if you feel some block, that maybe that is not the time to work on it. So I was
mm,
not forcing myself anyhow during this month to do something that I wasn't feeling right for me at that time.
mm,
But still, many things it was still like helped me to say, okay, maybe I should try this and try that. So it was helped me to learn new habits.
mm,
And so the practice that I did during the month after the power session has been really crucial to develop what I've learned, to
mm,
explore new things, to try new things. So really this month, but you really need to practice. It's not that the power session then is over. No, not at all. Then
mm,
you really need to be, convince and work on it day by day.
mm,
So then, yeah, its own play has been, yeah, very useful.
mm. And thanks once again for regularly then getting back to me or sharing mini results or sharing new insights or sharing certain things that you've created or illustrated. I was deeply touched. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I love it. Maybe one day the world is going to see that as well. Hashtag no pressure. When you look at this transformation or the results of everything that you have achieved, that you have become over the last 30 plus days, what are you most proud of?
I think that what I'm most proud of is like regaining control over my emotions,
Mm,
in a sense that, when you are in a certain situation and you say, oh, why these things make me feel so frustrated? Why do what this person said make me feel angry?
mm,
And then you realize that there's something heavy that is growing within you. And then you say,
mm,
okay, just stop. Wait a minute. And then you really stop and you start think, what is the source of this emotion? What is the why? Then you have this little analysis of this emotion, and sometimes you manage to discover what is the reason of this. And once you discover this, then you see that this emotion is just releasing. Then you feel calm again, and when this happens, it's so amazing. It's really feeling good.
once again, kudos to your curiosity and your childful play, or your, what would it be, childlikeness. So for everybody who's listening, there's a difference between childlike and childish. Childlike means seeing life as an adventure, and although you might be a little bit scared, you jump anyway. And I think that is a theme that I saw in our work, Serena. You're so courageous, you're open hearted, and you're like, I wonder what happens if I look this emotion into the eyes. And if I breathe through that, is there a message for me? And where does it come from? Is there anything else that wants to be shared? So again, your maturity, your emotional maturity and curiosity is so wonderful and so inspiring. And I hope it encourages other people to face certain aspects or blocks that they have that are, of course, not comfortable, but again, once you face them, so much positivity and so many incredible things are going to change in your life. Was there anything else that positively surprised you? So we worked on these aspects that we just mentioned. Was there anything else, maybe out of a totally different area of your life, that then landed or manifested or positively showed up, and you're like, wow, that's amazing, I wanted that so many months ago, or oh, this is happening already, or gosh, the universe is fast. Any story you'd like to share?
But with all this work, then somehow you feel more connected to the energy, to the universe, and it's really empowering feeling. But during this time, actually, yes, I got a new client, for example, and then I said, "Wow, that's amazing!" And it is really a cool person, very open, and I was really pleased about that. I said, "Oh, is it a coincidence, or I don't
Mm,
know." Then I realized maybe everything is connected. When you feel good and when you feel positive,
mm,
then positive things are happening to you as well.
for sure.
So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
attracting it, you're inviting it in. So thanks again for
exactly,
also
maybe.
sharing that.
Yeah.
Imagine there is somebody in this situation where you have been a few months ago, and that person is like, oh, I know should, I should go out there, I should change, but it's so difficult. So, what would you tell that person? What kind of advice would you give him or her when it comes to their personal development or about change or transformation? What's that one idea that they need to hear that will change everything for them?
Well, I think that the first step is really the most difficult one. At least that was for me, because it's the
Mm,
time when you feel completely overwhelmed of fears and of limiting beliefs, and
mm,
you feel stuck in a pattern, and you said, how can I get out of this? And then you feel really trapped. So the first step is really the most important. It can be a book that inspires you, or you can find a coach, and you just go for it. It's like you always have this little voice, this intuition that it really improves during this our work together. So you just listen to it and go for it, because when the ball start rolling, then it won't stop. Because when you start this journey, then you really cannot stop, because you realize after the first step that something is changing already. So
mm,
something, you can see something more clearly than before. So you can
mm.
start to see your way out. So then after the first step, I'm sure you won't stop.
Yeah. And thank you once again also for bringing up intuition, because I feel that a lot in the work that we have been through, the mind is fantastic. You have a scientific background, I have a scientific background. Science is incredible. And I can only speak for myself. The more I have studied and the more I have learned, the more I came obsessed almost with my mind, and I needed to understand everything immediately. And pair that with an active inner judge, I had created a lot of pain in my life until I realized, you know what? There's also this thing called intuition, and it usually is connected to wisdom. And if we can combine intuition with what we've learned, if we can combine wisdom with intelligence, if we can dance that dance between these two energies, the positive impact we can have on other people, the magic and quotation marks that we can create with our work is so powerful. And yeah, so thanks for stepping
Yeah.
up and showing other people a way that it's not a conflict of I have a scientific background and now I'm working on strengthening my intuition. Because some people, right, they're like, no, as a scientist, you can't. And meditation, whoa, what's this
Yeah.
esoteric hippie stuff? Oh my
Absolutely.
God. Yeah.
Completely.
So thanks for bringing this up. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Anything else that is important to you when we talk about the journey of personal growth, or any other story that we have maybe forgotten? Tell me. Anything else?
Well, something else that I would like to say, it's really about the power session, because the month after, um, I felt you were really close to me. So I
Mm,
think that the improvement that I did, and the discover, this searching that sometimes was really painful thing, sometimes was really scary. But I
mm,
think also that I managed to do this because I could share all these new things I've learned with you. So I
mm,
really felt you were on my back. When I had something that, okay, I can share with you, and you also have some nice words to say, you could reassure me. So I
mm,
was really felt safe and reassured knowing that for this beginning of this journey, you were behind me. So I really thank you for that.
You're most welcome. And once again, this was only possible because of your trust in yourself, in whatever you believe in us, in our work, and for facing it, for continuously implementing. Once again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I feel it's important to mention it because a lot of individuals, when it comes to this type of, let's say, challenges or working on these elements, they think, oh, it just magically comes from the top and then every problem is going to be solved because we're working on 5D, and then in 3D everything is already there. Sometimes that might be possible, but yeah, for me, for some reason, I'm a believer in both, you know? Can we combine both realities from the here and here? So yeah, I think if there's nothing else worth, no, I'm looking at my smart questions because I already write my questions down. I don't need to remember everything. Ha 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 ha. Sneaky methods I've developed over the years. The last question here on my list is, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you? Is it LinkedIn, for example, if they want to hire you, when it comes to one of the thoughts they want illustrated or one of the concepts, or if they want to connect with you because they see themselves in you or they have a similar challenge or whatever it is, if you just love that woman as much as I do, please reach out to her. But the big question is how?
I think it's LinkedIn.
Mhm.
You can have my contacts in LinkedIn. You can find the way to contact me there. Yeah.
Great. So I'll link to your profile on LinkedIn. So I just tag you, and then on all of the other channels, I make sure that we use your profile URL. That's it. Thank you a trillion times for showing up, for doing this, for sharing, for everything I've already mentioned. And I hope that maybe one day in the very near future, we're also going to meet in real life. And until
Great.
then, we definitely keep in touch. So once again, thank you, thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you, Natalia.